Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we were assigned the mission of heading out into the Eblan Rime to see if we can find any survivors. Non-tempered survivors. Or maybe even tempered survivors, just anybody that's still around. And thanks to Amonelane and his telescope, we were able to locate a young woman by the name of Cyrena. Followed her back to her... where she and some others were staying. They managed to escape tempering. We still don't know exactly how yet. And we tried to help them as best we could. But they were in need of some ceruleum for their heaters. And so we went off to the tappers who were still around to get some ceruleum. But on our way back, it turns out that they had attacked Alphino after we left. And Cyrena and her sister had run off because, well, they're afraid of us because they've been subjected to years and years of, well, propaganda and indoctrination. So, you know, unfortunate. So we went off to see if we could track them down, but unfortunately, before we could reach them, they got attacked by some wild beasts and killed. So that didn't exactly go well. But now we know a little bit more about what we're going to be kind of up against here. So we're going to have to report back and see what the next plan of action is going to be. Alright, so I went ahead and took care of all the side quests. That's all done. And so we need to speak to Lucia. And report in. We'll talk to the others first, as usual. Alphino, would you mind giving Lucia a full report? I guess you don't feel like you can make the report? How they say? We must forget to send some of our allies to Tapper's Den. We still owe them for the bottle of ceruleum. Yes. Y'shtola? Treatment of the tempered is proceeding as well as can be expected. If there is anything to report, you will be sure to know, though I gather you have a report of your own to deliver. We do. Ahrun Senna. Is something the matter? The twins look out of sorts, and you too seem a bit off. Yeah, well, things didn't go to plan. Maxima? Forgive me for saying, but the three of you appear rather drained since your return. Is there aught I might do to be of assistance? Probably not. Alright. Lucia. Nancy and Alphino tell me they have finished their preliminary search for survivors, but refrain from saying much more than that. Clearly they are reluctant to provide details. Might I ask for your account? Alright, well, we'll give them the breakdown.
Thank you for your report. We shall inform the troops of these developments and instruct them to proceed with the utmost caution should they encounter any survivors.
Allow me to go and speak with the ones at the victor's spoils. They may be more willing to listen to a fellow Garlean and accept our offer of assistance.
I pray you are right. And though I am loath to burden you any further, should there be an appropriate occasion to speak of Licinia and her sister, please do so.
I am sorry to have put you through this.
My distress is nothing compared to their suffering. So tell me, what else have we learned?
As you may have already heard, we have succeeded in curing the members of the Populares, Maxima identified. They have provided us with some intriguing insights into the current state of Garlemald. The assassination of Emperor Varus was the catalyst for the civil war. Nerva declared his claim to the throne, and his opponents refused to recognize it. Fighting broke out in the capital, where Nerva's Third Legion clashed with the First, who remained loyal to Varys even after his death.
Of course, even Imperial warmongers would balk at the idea of turning their shining city into a battleground. Like burning down the wood to spite the wasps. Neither side would be so mad. Unless something or someone inflamed their animosity to such an extent that they could not help but act against their better judgment.
It brings to mind events at the Gimlet Dark, does it not? The Emperor's sudden withdrawal from the front lines, specifically. Nerva and his father, Titus, Varys' then political rival, took advantage of rumors that Crown Prince Xenos had been possessed by a demon.
Yes, I believe that was Thancred's plan.
Elidibus, what better way to disparage your enemies than with the truth, or a close enough approximation?
Indeed. But before their accusations could be substantiated, many of Titus's followers were silenced.
Right. Elidibus.
While some were merely stripped of their status, others died under curious circumstances. One after another, suddenly and suspiciously.
Again, Elidibus. Like as not, he had a hand in it. No evidence was found to implicate Varys, certainly. Nevertheless, Titus, Nerva, and the Third Legion would have judged it a brazen attempt by the Emperor to rid himself of his political enemies. And then, in the midst of this growing turmoil, Varys Sosgalvis is murdered. And Garlemald's own prodigal son, Gaius van Belsar, is named the murderer. Shortly thereafter, Nerva claims the right of succession, and in response, the First Legion claims the assassination was part of a coup d'etat orchestrated by Titus and Nerva.
So no one is at fault, and everyone else is to blame.
Yep, seems pretty straightforward.
I should add that both parties received substantial financial backing, presumably to provide them with the means and encouragement to pursue a swift victory, and that these contributions came from the self-same benefactor.
I'd heard House Brutus had been filling the Third Legion's coffers, but the First as well.
It would seem so. Though the Populares determined that the First Legion received funds from a variety of organizations, all had connections to House Brutus.
So Fandaniel, in the guise of Asahi, was playing both sides against each other the entire time.
The information we gained from my friends does not end there. One night, shortly after fighting broke out, the capital was shaken by an immense tremor. From that point onward, they have no memories, no recollection of any events, including our clash on the Magna Glaciers. But when asked about the Imperial Palace and its bizarre transformation, they somehow recall Emperor Varys giving them orders in their dreams.
Strange.
May the Tower of Babil stand as testament to the glory of Garlemald.
This sounds awfully familiar.
We have something to show you all.
The radio.
Varys spoke to them through this radio. Perhaps it was a recording, but if not, that would be inexplicable.
We are of one mind, then.
The ether that permeates the ore used in this device is almost identical to that of the talismans.
I see it. While it is likely more by coincidence than design, these devices might also ward against a primal's influence. A picture is beginning to form. If the tremor felt throughout Garlemald was a wave of ether emitted by a primal, then while those within range would have been tempered, those huddled around a radio desperate for news concerning the Civil War would have been spared.
No wonder Licinia kept it close.
My friends, I must speak with you. A young man was caught trying to steal our supplies. He is a soldier of the Iron Men, we think, but one who has not been made thrall. Thankfully, Magni restrained him before blood was spilled. The stranger is outside, if you wish to ask him questions.
I think we do.
Who do we have here?
Appears to be an Imperial soldier.
Garleans? Traitors to your homeland! Have you no shame?
I am Lucia Junius, a Temple Knight of Ishgard. And you are?
Julius Pier Norbanus. And that's all you invaders will get from me.
We are not here to invade Garlemald. Far from it. Like you, our allies in Eorzea and the Far East fight in defense of their lives and their loved ones even as we speak. But it is the people of Garlemald who have suffered most. This we know. And that is why we have come to offer you our aid, that we may unite against our common foe. Whether you believe me or not, those are the facts. Now, answer me this. Why would a proud soldier of the Empire be reduced to stealing? The situation must be dire indeed for you to go to such lengths. If it is supplies you seek, we would gladly share ours, or turn a blind eye while you leave with your spoils.
I will not negotiate. My commander will determine how to deal with you and yours. If you wish to treat with him, I will take you, but no more than 3.
Specific number?
I don't much like the sound of that. But if we do accept his proposal, I suggest the 2 of us and...
Please allow me and Alize to act as envoys.
Are you sure that's wise?
May I ask why?
We have seen with our own eyes the hardships the Garleans face. How their futures and lives hang in the balance.
It's not the warmest invitation, but it's an opportunity to prove our intentions true. Maybe not a chance to make things right, but a chance to make them better.
Well, we're going to.
I can see that persuading you otherwise is a lost cause, but you will proceed with the utmost care.
A couple of children and what? A sellsword? Is this an insult?
Not in the least. You will find that they are more than qualified to speak on our behalf.
There are many dangers on the road ahead. I will need that back.
Yeah, you can have your weapon. And good on Magni for showing restraint and capturing him rather than just, offing him. Alright, let's see what everybody has to say about the situation. Y'shtola? I worry they were not in the best state of mind to volunteer for this undertaking, but what's done is done. I know you will take good care of them, and yourself as well, I trust. Yep. Arun Senna, they are resilient in the face of hardship. You as well. But good intentions and stubborn determination alone will not be enough to bring our mission to a successful conclusion. Be on your guard. Alright, Magni. Or, not Magni, Maxima. Eulis Pirinobanus. It is unusual for one so young to achieve such a high rank. Very unusual. His uniform identifies him a member of the First Legion, which has a particularly fierce reputation. Whoever his superior may be, I advise you to approach them with caution. I'm guessing it's probably a field promotion because everyone above him is either dead or tempered. Alright, Serena. We captured the boy as he was about to make off with their food. He must be very hungry to take such risks. Maybe we should give him something to eat. Reward him for his boldness. Yeah, it couldn't hurt. Alice? I know. This won't bring back Licinia or her sister. Taking the same risks, making the same mistakes. It's possible, but better to try than to give up every time. Alphino. Perhaps it is unwise to volunteer for a mission so soon after the previous disaster. Nevertheless, I shall not squander this opportunity. Magni. The lowly task of keeping watch over provisions would not normally befit the sun, but these being unusual circumstances, I will let no man take that which is not by rights theirs. Alright, and Eulis. Said your farewells, have you? Not quite. Lucia? You will be received as invited guests, and so I urge you to observe proper social etiquette and conduct yourselves accordingly. You want us to keep our eyes open and gather intel. Excellent. Your safe return takes precedence above all else. Remember this. But don't do anything stupid. Thancred, in particular, will be worried sick if you're gone too long. May the Fury watch over and keep you. Okay, so Thancred's on our tail. Message received and understood. Alright, Eulis. Let's get started. Are you and the children ready? I'll explain the route once we are outside your camp. If anyone attempts to follow us, we will judge it an act of hostility. We will not hesitate to take appropriate measures. I would expect nothing less. You have our full cooperation. Yeah, and even if someone were following us, you'd never know it. Thancred's not about to be that sloppy. Alright, Alphino. We will do only as instructed. After all, this is what we have been striving for ever since we arrived. Where do you think their headquarters are? I assume there are a few others besides him and this commander he mentioned. Alright. What's next? Alright, this is far enough. Listen carefully. We head over that hill, then follow the road until we reach Liminal Station 4. Children in the lead, I want you where I can see you. We do have names, you know. I'm Elise, and he's Alphino. And last but not least, there's Ayame. Ayame? Where have I heard that before? Oh... It's probably not that important. And what is going on there? Sorry. I'm guessing that's probably a hunt train. Alright. No matter. Alphino and Alice, I will watch the road ahead while we bring up the rear. I wasn't lying about there being many dangers, so you're to run, not saunter. Run toward the station. If you even think about going for a weapon, the deal's off. Should any creatures bar the way, we go around them. Once you choose to depart, Eulis will accompany you. We'll then begin moving towards the destination. Make your way to Liminal Station 4 without falling behind. Yeah. Okay. You ready to make the dash for the station? Yep, go for it. Alright. Liminal Station 4 is over there. Alright, here we are. It's nothing like the ones in Thanalan. We're here, I think. Alright, now what? This is it. The first stop, that is. Good. Looks like your friends knew better than to follow us. Are these your headquarters? No, we're stopping here so I can check for pursuers. Since it appears you've kept your side of the bargain, we can carry on. As I said, if anybody were following us, you wouldn't know. It appears that this is a rail station of some description. Alright, next. North of the station is Regio Domorum, one of the main residential areas, or at least it was. The afflicted roam the streets in packs. They'll tear us to shreds if given the chance. Keep close, no wandering off. Understood? No problem. We're getting closer to the Imperial Palace, if one can still call it that. It truly is a terrifying sight to behold. Now, say, I wonder what sort of conditions Ulyss and his comrades are living in. If they have any sense, they'll have picked somewhere like Victor's Spoils to take shelter. Alright. From here, we'll be heading northeast, keeping to the left of the railway. While the route itself is straightforward, getting past the hordes unseen is anything but. Keep your weapons at the ready. You would attack their own countrymen? Aye. They spare their own, but slaughter the rest without hesitation. Though we'll try to avoid detection, the chances of sneaking by completely unnoticed are slim at best. I will lead the way, but in the event we are seen, you're to fight them off. Those two will follow us, provided they can refrain from drawing their weapons. While I doubt they would be foolish enough to stab their guide in the back, I will not take that chance. With that said, let us proceed. Yeah, we have no intention of stabbing you in the back. Alright, looks like we got some tempered. What do you think? Alphino? We must stay alert, yes. I say, gods damn it, we're perfectly capable of holding our own. I see why your comrades chose you. Euless, our contingent has a cure for the afflicted, or tempered as we call them. Your people would need to be taken into custody that we may administer the treatment, but they would eventually regain their sanity. That's so. For all I know, your treatment would simply force them to forsake one master for another. As far as I and my legion are concerned, they are no longer our people. They're beyond saving. Those who thought differently and tried to reason with them were butchered for their bleeding hearts. Come, we have to keep moving. Well, we might get around to that eventually. Looks like we got some more to deal with. You just... You just shield bashed me. Alright, those guys are down. Alphino. Just dots. Alright, Alice. I hate to watch you bear this burden alone. Don't worry about it, I'm fine. Looks like we're not being followed. We will continue onward. Alright, on to the next point. I meant what I said. These people deserve only death. I stayed my hand before out of the desire to remain undiscovered, and that is still the higher priority. We should continue to avoid any unnecessary confrontations. Keep following the railway. Alright. Keep following the railway. We're close. Oh, here's some more. Oh, and these guys have been actually, converted. And then there we go. Such a transformation is likely irreversible, right? I think they were once ordinary people. Look at what they have become. Would you still stand there and claim that they can be cured? Those exposed to a vast quantity of a primal's ether may suffer severe corruption. Even with treatment, such victims are beyond salvation. You admit it. Now that you have seen these monstrosities for yourself, perhaps you'll think twice before speaking of a cure. I mean, we might be able to cure most of them. Alright. Next stop. Even here in the outskirts, it's plain to see how vastly different Garlemald is compared to other cities. And Alphino. Though I wish there was another way, I thank you for keeping us from harm. Yeah. One step at a time. We're almost there. You have kept your side of the agreement, so I'll keep mine. This way. Ah, so it's an underground station. This is Tertium, one of Garlemald's largest stations. It now serves as our headquarters. I've already sent the twins ahead. I'll be with you soon, so wait for me at the bottom of the stairs. Alright then. Still checking for those pursuers. I hear the radio. Alice? I had no idea they had such expansive structures built underground. Alphino? Everything's offline. It's plain to see why they chose this as their base of operations. They could have done a lot worse. Even so, I imagine it's not the easiest place to live. Indeed, and if Euless was willing to make the perilous journey to Camp Broken Glass in search of food, their own supplies must be all but exhausted. They may be shielded from the wind and snow, but it's still bitterly cold, much like Victor's spoils. It must be a constant struggle to keep their people warm. Lower your voices. While you may be here as my guests, the others will not take kindly to your presence. My commander is in the locomotive, over there. I was just thinking that. The gauge on these tracks are pretty significant. I'm guessing probably no one's really going to be willing to talk to us. He clearly has no intent of speaking with you. Yep. Flavius. Nope. Popea? Nope. Okay. The Aetherite is not responding. Alright. What I think I'm actually going to do is end this episode here. It's a little bit, early for what I've been doing so far, but I think this is a good spot. Go ahead and stop for now. And maybe run a little bit of a longer episode next time. We'll see. Alright, but for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.